What do you have to say to people who say you will be pardoned because of your status?
I understand it. That's not something that you can look at and say, well, that had nothing to do with it. I don't know if it did or if it didn't, because I wasn't involved in the process. But what I can tell you is that I believe in our President of the United States, and I believe in his commitment. When he created the First Step Act, that was to help incarcerated individuals. It was not adhered to by the Department of Justice.
Like, I know you guys are upset because I did something way worse than you guys did, and they're going to let me out.
Exactly. Well,
I'm going to make sure that your credit that you're supposed to be getting for your good time is going to be credited.
I almost feel like at the end of this, he says something like, I'm not going to forget about you guys.
This call is from a federal prison.
Misunderstood, yeah. Judged by the cover. Misunderstood, yeah. From one to another.
Hi, my name is Tiffany. Welcome to the show.
Hi, my name is Lisa, and welcome to the show.
Right. Let's go. Yep.
Yeah, so today's episode is going to be really, really good. I think that it's going to be super entertaining, actually.
Me too.
We are going to cover the Todd and Chrisley release, the pardon. And we've done some research. Obviously, we don't know all the facts, but we're just going to go off of the facts that are online, which, that is absolutely credible news.
Right. For many people.
As credible as it gets.
It's as credible as it gets.
It's actually a pretty wild story when you really think about it. Like, there's so many people that are in prison for less, doing more time.
I'm going to put my glasses on because I actually pretend that I can see, but I really can't see. So I wanted to read what ChatGPT told me about this situation.
Okay.
So when I asked it to, give me information on Todd and Julie Chrisley, this is what it came up with. It says Todd and Julie Chrisley, known for their reality show called Chrisleys Knows Best, were pardoned by President Donald Trump on May 27, 2025. They've been serving federal prison sentences following their 2022 convictions for bank fraud and tax evasion. Background on Chrisleys. Todd Chrisley is a real estate developer who gained fame from their family's reality show, which aired from 2014 to 2023. The show depicted the Chrisleys' affluent lifestyle and family dynamics. Julie Chrisley, his wife, co-starred on the show. In 2022, the Chrisleys were convicted of defrauding banks out of more than $30 million by submitting false documents to obtain loans, and they also concealed income to avoid paying taxes. Todd was sentenced to 12 years in prison, and Julie received a 7-year sentence. They were also ordered to pay $17.8 million in restitution. President Trump's decision, I find this part funny, President Trump's decision to pardon the Chrisleys came after their daughter, Savannah Chrisley, actively campaigned for their release, arguing that her parents were victims of political persecution. Trump cited the couple's treatment as overly harsh and used his constitutional power to grant clemency. The pardons led to an immediate release of both Todd and Julie from prison. The pardons have been part of a broader pattern during Trump's presidency, where he granted clemency to various individuals, including political allies and public figures.
So give me the dummy version of that, please.
Basically, they had a reality show. He sounds like he was a big real estate developer, probably made a ton of money. And those reality shows, they're pretty cool. The real estate ones. We've seen a bunch of flipping ones. So I haven't actually seen the show, but you've seen some of it, right?
I've seen it before, yeah.
So it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I feel like some of those shows, especially the reality shows, I feel like probably the DOJ or the feds or whatever, I think that they like to track, what they do and stuff because they are public figures, and it's probably easy to see what they're doing or want to see what they're doing, right? But to take $30 million and actually use documents that were fraudulent documents to get that $30 million and then pay off debt for
cars.
Yeah. And they didn't mention the cars thing, but you said that you had seen something about that. And then, evade taxes, which a lot of people do that, but apparently, they were putting money into
her bank.
which was a personal account,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing that's crazy about that is that, the daughter, obviously probably got their attorneys to go up the ladder legally to get to Trump,
Right.
to get that pardon executed. And I don't know, it's super interesting because Trump's all about, how can we not pay taxes?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, you and I were discussing how that's so crazy that why them? Why them? They got 12 years for really, $30 million. That's a lot of money.
So let me say,
What's your take on this, Tiffany?
on a scale here,
On a scale.
when the feds indict you, they have a 98.9% conviction rate. So like when people go to the box, like trial, whatever.
By the way, I'm sorry to interrupt you. For those who don't know you, like, where are you coming from? Are you?
Oh yeah.
Who are you?
Oh yeah. Well, my name is Tiffany. I've done 20 years in and out of federal prison. I just finally killed my probation, which is now why we're doing the show, because finally we're able to bring some awareness to the system without me feeling like I would get backlash because I was on federal probation still. So
And when she says killed her paper, that means what, Tiffany?
killed my probation. I killed my probation.
Yeah,
I've
she's
got
not-
no
she's
more
not-
probation, no more
yeah,
paper.
yeah.
After 20 years and 2 indictments later. So I've been in the federal system for a long time. So
So she's very aware. So when they talk about, so he does say that they were wrongly convicted and that the DOJ
Yeah.
did some shady
They
stuff.
were not wrongly convicted,
Yeah,
'cause
because
they-
you said 98%.
yeah, there's no way that they could have gone through. And I know they went to trial, didn't they? They had to go. Because
yeah,
yeah. So it's a
100%.
huge thing. You don't.
I shouldn't say 100%.
But okay, can someone look that fact check that, please? Did they go to trial?
I mean, I can't
I wanna
imagine
make sure,
because they
I'm
had all
pretty
this money.
I'm sure they did something.
They had all this money.
Needless to say, this is Tiffany's background and her perspective. And,
Right.
And so
Well, yeah,
continue
that's all
with
this
your-
is. I
with your
mean,
thought.
I'm just a YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just talking. That's what this whole show is about: perspective and our view on things. That's all this is. Just a
Right,
bunch of talking
but-
shit about that. I mean, really,
Right.
it's not. I'm just giving it from
Ultimately, you're
my
not just-
point of view.
You're not just a YouTuber, though. You're a
No,
voice
you're a-
for people like
I
you.
am. Yeah,
Because
exactly. I
they
am.
want- they
And-
know the shit you're saying.
Yeah.
And thinking.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
previously
totally.
a federal inmate.
I exactly. I've done like
So you've
yeah.
done the state too. So you
Like
know
I've
all
been
angles of it.
Exactly. Yep. And I've been in prison with people that have millions and millions and millions of dollars. I have been in prison with people that have no money that got there by default, probably for being a mule or an idiot that just was in the car at the wrong time. I've been in prison with all of the people, and I know that when you go to court, for one, when they're
Or when
indicting
you get-
they've
or
got
when you
lots
get
of-
indicted,
Yeah, when you get
basically.
indicted, they have been watching you and gathering information on you for a year at least. It takes a year when they're investigating you. You know what I mean? Like they're going to make sure they cross all their T's and dot all their I's.
So all of that process too,
Yeah.
like before they did that for you, silence that. So before they indicted you, it was kind of similar to what we were talking about, like when you would call me and say, Mom, somebody's following me. Because they're following you.
They were.
They're getting all that information
Yeah,
that they need
they
to
were.
get. Like they are tailing you.
Yeah, they definitely were. They followed me
For a year,
before they
probably.
indicted me, and then they also followed me after I got out of prison, and they kept following me, and I knew
Yeah.
that too. I'd be like, they're following me again. I always know. It's like you always just know. They don't.
They'd wave at you. Of
They
course
do.
know.
They do.
Of course you knew.
Remember, they
They'd
sit in
wave.
front of our house and eat their lunch, and I'd be like, "Mom, you should go offer them something to drink." They're just sitting in
They're
front of our
just sitting
house.
there eating lunch, which is funny now. It wasn't funny at the time.
Yeah, I was tripping back then. It was.
Sam's got a statistic for you.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I mean just to fact check, yeah, they did go to court.
Right.
Federal
They
charges
went
on
to
bank
trial.
fraud and tax evasion. The trial commenced May 2022.
Okay.
And then ended 3 weeks later on June 7th.
Okay, so they went to trial, which means that they were found guilty.
Yep.
They were found completely guilty. They had all the evidence that
And
they
they
needed.
still went to trial.
And so I am willing to bet that guess what? They were told that if you don't go to trial, you'll probably be able to get a lower sentence. Because when you take it to trial, courts get a little pissed off that you're making them do more work, for one. So people that take it to trial
you think that
always
they-
get more time.
So you think that they should have they would have gotten a lighter
Yeah, I
sentence at the
definitely
12
believe they would
years?
have got a lighter sentence had they just not taken it to
So
trial.
you agree then with Trump when he said that he thought that was a bit harsh, that sentence? I mean,
I feel like I've seen
I don't know. I
people
mean,
go
I feel like there's people that did way less.
No, I don't agree with what
way
Trump
less
says.
crime.
No, yeah,
that got
no.
way more.
Yeah, I definitely have seen that, but I can say that within the guidelines, they were within the guidelines.
Okay.
I can say that they for surely were in the guidelines because like they have the guidelines, I mean, like a year and a day or
Yeah.
120 months or.
So
and
why
I'm
did
sure
she get
they're-
7 years and he got 12? Because she was it was like what's it called?
Accessory.
Accessory.
Yeah, his was
Okay.
probably within the range of 20 years. Like, you know what I mean? Like up to 20 years, and they gave him 12 years.
Yeah.
So, but he
So
also,
why did they
like I said, he
get
took it to
out?
trial. He'd probably never been in trouble before in his life.
So why did they get out? Like, I don't understand why
he pardoned them? Because I know a lot of people that are in there for tax evasion, money fraud, mail,
Right, so
all
why
this
is there-
stuff.
I feel like the only people that should ever be pardoned, to be honest with you, well, period, are people that are actually innocent of a crime.
Well,
I
was
mean,
it fraud? Was it actually fraud, or was it a loophole?
No, it was fraud because they used fraudulent documents to get the $30 million loan. That's fraud.
Yeah.
Wow.
They did a
So-
lot of fraud things. They did a lot of illegal
That's like
things.
That's
going. That's
where-
like going to get a loan to buy a house, and you are fraudulent on the
Yeah.
paperwork that you're.
And they got
submitting.
pardoned for it.
Yeah, they-
Completely pardoned, no probation, no nothing. Like, not only did you guys get out
Are you
early,
sure they didn't get probation? Oh yeah, because they
pardoned?
pardoned.
That's like you're innocent.
yeah, you're
now.
innocent. You're innocent.
Okay,
Which
so then there's a question: why would Trump do that?
is exactly
Right? That is odd.
why.
Yeah, it's super odd.
It is. It's not
Why-
like.
what's the motive? What is?
I mean,
the
for
part
that
we
specific
don't know
situation, yeah. Like, how did that girl get like just work her? I mean, like my second indictment was a bullshit. Like it was, yeah. It was. I was in the car with this girl, and there was like literally there was a bag full of mail that wasn't mine, and that's a federal offense, right?
But it's
and
only a
literally
federal-
But I did like
but-
3 years, 4 years on this bullshit on this charge. With literally though, no one's identities were compromised. Nothing was
Yeah,
compromised.
but you had already had a prior conviction.
Yeah, but
of
that doesn't.
right.
But regardless of the matter,
Yeah.
it's still what it is. I still did this, dude. They took all that. They took $30 million and they did 2 years. I did 3 years for a
They
bullshit.
took $30 million from the banks, though.
Is that the difference then?
It's still federal. There's a
Is
bunch
that the
of. So what's the
difference?
difference
I mean,
between a
to
bunch
me
of
it is.
documents and
Is it Trump versus the banks?
right?
What?
Like,
Is it a case
what's
of
the difference?
Is it a case of Trump versus the banks?
Huh?
What?
Like,
like
you
Talking-
said.
Yeah.
We're talking about apples and oranges here.
Well,
No, like-
yeah, we are, but in principle, when you bring it up to that
Yeah,
level,
yeah,
is
it's
that what it's
Trump with the
actually
vote.
about? Is
Right.
that what it's actually about?
No.
Well, how do we know? Maybe he's fighting
Let's
his own
rope
battle.
it back
All
around.
right.
Right? I don't know. Like I don't know.
I'm
I
Mr.
just
Conspiracy Theory.
I just know
on
that
the
it is
line.
odd
You go
that
down
you let
rabbit
them
holes
out
and
like
I
that.
I'm like, huh?
Like how much money did they? I mean, how much money could they possibly had after being seized? I'm sure everything that they owned. Did they get was all their belongings seized? I didn't see that. I'm sure. I mean, if it wasn't, usually that happens when people get raided.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
the feds like to take
No,
everything.
Well, don't they usually do that when you're like dealing drugs?
No,
or
they do that
something?
for everything. They seize
everything?
it if you're fraud.
everything?
You bought a bunch of shit with fraudulent money.
Yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah.
taking it.
Well, I mean, they have to pay restitution.
It doesn't matter. They're taking that and you're
of
paying the
only one-
restitution.
No, 17 million. Sorry.
And you're paying the restitution. You're going to pay your restitution and they're going to take all the shit that you took,
Yeah.
that you bought. That's not your belongings anymore. They are notorious for that. That's
Right.
like,
Well,
like they raid your house
I
and
know
they take
because
it.
when we were selling REOs, that's what the U.S. Marshal does.
Yeah.
and they sell the real estate.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they take. So I guarantee you, their stuff was taken. I mean, like, if they're like, this house was bought with part of that money, this car was purchased
Totally.
with that
No,
money.
I get
We're
that.
taking that from
yeah,
you.
for
So
sure.
the
That's
daughter
why.
didn't
That's
get to
why they
keep
have the
it.
car auctions and stuff too.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure. It's a police car.
There's a lot of
auction, all
that
that.
seized
Yeah, everything.
seized property.
Yeah, it's not
or
just
the
drug-
diamond rings and the
Not just drug
paintings
dealers
and
get
the
that
this.
treatment. Everybody gets it.
By the way, let me call out my own bias here.
Sure.
Like, I'm not trying to defend Trump, but I did vote for him. So
Yeah, well-
Yeah, I know.
I'm like,
If I could have
I'm
voted, I
like-
would have voted for him too.
Yeah.
well, and so it kind of also is like a battle. Like, inside of like, do we take that person who is like making the actions like actually for what they are, like in each principle, like across the board, or are they right and wrong and like things across the board?
Right.
Well, I mean, he's a human being, so I
Exactly.
think you have to take.
So who's
Like-
yeah.
So when you're voting for somebody, you're not going to necessarily love everything about them. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think most people will agree that voted for Trump that they don't like some of his, like he needs a filter. I saw somebody say he needs a shot collar every time he says something. Like,
And
because he does say
some
things.
dumb shit.
Yeah, he does say some dumb shit for sure.
But does he have some points though?
Right, he did.
Yeah.
Like, I
he
mean,
just doesn't
most
have a
people,
filter.
I think,
He just says what everybody's thinking.
most people was the
Yeah.
economy, the borders, the drugs, so most people voted for him because of that stuff.
Right.
I think he just says what everybody's thinking. You know what I mean? A lot of people think the stuff that just comes right on.
I don't know
Some
about
way-
that.
some way
There's
or
a lot of
another.
people that don't agree with what he says and thinks.
Well, that's why he's so polarizing, because he's
Right.
saying what one group in mass is thinking
Yeah.
versus another.
No, for
right.
sure.
And he just is,
Yeah.
I mean, he's a businessman, not a politician. And, whatever. That's another rabbit hole.
I mean, but what it really boils down to in the situation is like, I don't care one way or another if they're out and he did this and he did that. It's just interesting that there's so many people that are in there for less doing more time, and it's just interesting that none of those people get a chance to. So no, I do care. I guess would say I do care.
Yeah, you
'cause
should
I know a
care.
lot of people that are in there that I was close to that are sitting in there like living that horrible life, and they did less than what these people did, and they did do it.
Right.
So-
there's people that are in prison, and probably mainly state prison, that are there because they were convicted of
The wrong place, the wrong time.
Yeah, and they're still there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's not okay. Get life for, I mean, people spend 60 years in prison and then they get out because they, found DNA somewhere, and it wasn't his or whatever. That, like, how do you make up for that?
Right. Well, you're talking about, both of you, everybody here is talking about the relativity of fairness.
yeah,
Correct.
for sure.
And who, is it actually fair that people with more money just get passed?
Right.
No, not at all. Because
No.
people that don't have the money, they don't have access to the attorneys that are fighting for them should be fighting just the same as the attorneys that you spend, hundreds of thousands of dollars on.
Right.
It's crazy. A lot of times in federal
doesn't
court,
matter.
your public defender or your paid attorney, like really, really, really truthfully, your public defender will work sometimes harder for you than even your federal paid attorney. A lot of times when it comes to it does give you some grace, if you get a great lawyer that's really cool with the judge and the people in the federal building.
Right.
But like a lot of times people will just hire a lawyer and they waste their money because
Right.
because when you got a paid attorney, they only want to work for you when they're being paid. So like when you're out of there, like when you're done and you're off their caseload, it's like hard for them to get to do shit for
Right.
you.
But you're also lucky when you get a good public defender.
Yeah, no
that
doubt.
cares, because they could not care.
I feel like Colorado has all right public defense.
Well, yours was.
They work for you.
You didn't love her in the beginning.
I didn't.
though.
I didn't. No, I know.
We had names. We had names
Yeah,
for them.
they definitely were not like. Shira was really good. Kylie tried her best,
God bless her.
and I get
God
that.
bless her.
Like, if my life was on the line, like legitimately life, I probably would have, something might have been a little bit different. But
I don't know yet, like an impromptu explosion.
but I can say that like they both worked hard for me. You know what I mean? Like
They did.
and like
They did, but not everybody gets that, is my point.
no, well,
But
but like
you're-
Arsh's attorney, for instance, his attorney was paid both of them, and
Bad
guess
attorney.
what? They were horrible, and they
Yeah.
were expensive, supposed
Yeah.
to be top of the line.
I feel like,
attorneys.
again, it's celebrity.
Yep.
Because that, the daughter, went up the chain to get to Trump
Yep.
because she was a celebrity. She
That's
was
the
able
value
to.
of influence.
Exactly.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
And then,
Yeah.
then in tandem with the value of money.
I mean, look at what happened with what's her name? Who's the baker?
Martha.
Martha. Look at Martha. That was a lot of money too.
She capitalized off her incarceration, boy.
Yeah, well, these guys are going to too, 100%. You better know that.
Yeah,
they
are.
already had a video camera crew when they got released.
That's
I'm
right.
sure.
You said they're creating like a whole film
oh yeah,
on Netflix
yeah,
or something?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, they're gonna. I
And
don't know.
Netflix is, a platform is going to be like, oh, you have money? Like, of course we'll put your shit
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
You're going to get us more views? Of course we'll put your
Well,
shit
I
on.
think that they were still doing their reality show when all this went down.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So they're just gonna
Just came out of nowhere. We
They're
got
just gonna
caught.
start it over again.
We got caught.
This is unprecedented.
It just came out of nowhere. What do you
Crazy.
mean I'm being arrested?
Yeah.
You're raiding my house. We're recording
Yeah.
the show right now.
Exactly. So yeah, they're so.
We need to get to the video.
Yeah, so
soon.
let's talk about what he talked about on his thing on his press release.
Okay, can
He-
we pull up a video for
Okay,
this
yeah.
press release
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that
yeah.
other people can see it and
Absolutely.
not just take us for hearsay?
Exactly. Let's do that.
Freaking ads. We're not going to show
Love
the
it.
ad. There we go.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. I appreciate the attention to this matter. I know folks have wanted to talk to Todd and Savannah, so they're here to do that. I'm going to let them introduce themselves and tell a few words. We'll take
Hey,
questions.
feel free to
after.
First
stop
of all,
this. Stop it.
first of all, I just want to comment and say that at first when I saw this, I thought the daughter who's 28 was like 40, and the dad, he's got so much Botox right now that I thought that he was way younger.
Yeah.
Like you could tell he's got a bunch of Botox. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay.
You guys, good.
And feel free to do that as much as you
I'm
want, by the way. Just stop it.
We woke
Okay.
up today and they were still at home. So it's honestly felt like such a dream to have them at home. And I'm just so grateful, obviously, to President Trump, the administration, Alice Johnson, just everyone within the pardons office. Alice obviously came on my podcast a year and a half ago, I think, before she ever even got the role.
I think
And
we
what
can
respect-
skip through maybe some of that because it's definitely a long
hers.
video. What are
They
your
look a
thoughts?
lot alike. They look like
I wanna thank
she looks
They
just
do.
like-
They-
she looks just like him.
She really does.
Yeah, that's her dad.
She doesn't look like her at all.
Every person that has prayed for us that
No.
has stayed in the fight and that fought for the truth to come out. And so I am grateful for it. And as Savannah said, she has fought a long fight. And for any parent to see their child fight this hard,
What's his accent?
it's a double-edged sword. It's
They're
a blessing,
Southern.
and then your heart breaks because your child has been placed in that position to fight for you when as a parent you're supposed to fight for your children. So I will always be grateful.
sure?
from the bottom of my
Yeah.
heart.
No, yeah, they are Southern. I think they're from where they're from. Yeah, they are.
We've had wonderful legal representation, maybe not the first go round, but certainly
Georgia?
one you picked up. And we're certainly grateful
That's
to you,
why her
Alex,
name's Savannah?
and to you. This is the better looking version of our team.
Right.
So, we're grateful for everything that has happened thus far. And as bad as this experience has been, there's also been a lot of blessings to come from it. I have met some wonderful men. I have listened to some horrific stories about things that have gone on in our system. And whether you believe it or not, because I was you at some point, even though this pardon has happened, I still was convicted of something that I did not do. It could be you. It could be
All right,
you.
stop it there.
could be any-
What?
Stop it there.
He said, "I did not do it.
That exactly. He
I
said
did
that.
not do it."
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
was he, okay, let's go back then. Was he proven of doing it?
yeah, of course. That's why he went to prison.
Like, dude, he definitely, like,
he definitely
what?
did
Well,
it.
but
No.
there's
How
people
can he
that
not
are
have
sent
done
to
it?
prison for doing things that they didn't do. We
Not
talked about
that.
How do we know?
How?
Because they do so much.
Oh my God, the
research.
feds
They-
find it.
They already went into their bank
they did not
statements.
do that.
They already went into their bank
Okay.
accounts.
No, they did not
Can
do
we-
that. Who did it then? Who
Wait,
did it?
Hold up. Can we verify it then? Because that's what I want to know.
Well,
I'm
please,
sure
somebody,
that's all going to come out.
somebody fact check. How did they not commit this crime? How did they not commit the crime?
No, Kim, do a fact check of
How they were.
what? No, the percentage of how. What is the percentage of the feds being accurate when they get indicted?
Oh yeah, what's
that's
the
a
accuracy
loaded
on-
statement, though.
It's not a loaded
How do you
statement.
verify that?
It's 98.9%
It's
accurate.
it's only verifiable based on who's telling it.
No, I want to know what exactly. How?
That's true. I'm not bullshitting. That's true.
Oh my.
All right, here goes Lord Chat
Here goes nothing.
There's only a 4% of the defendants that went to trial that were acquitted. 4%.
Yeah, they basically say you're screwed if you're indicted by the feds.
Yeah,
You're
like,
pretty
it's,
much-
like, real.
They've done their homework. Their homework is complete.
Yeah,
Okay,
anytime
of
I've been in
course.
trouble in the feds are involved, I'm like, damn, I'm not getting out. Damn, there's no wand.
Of course, but they're the largest gang in the world.
Yeah, they are.
And so if they want something done, no matter if it's right or wrong, they'll do it.
But they have to have evidence to prove this.
They can make evidence.
Not like $30 million. No one's going to just go after these people for no reason.
Plant money in somebody's bank account.
And why would they just go after these people for no reason? Like, I'm going to go after the Chrisleys because they are doing a reality show. We're going to be haters. Yeah, right.
Maybe they wouldn't actually
No.
put money. Hold on one second. Let me battle.
There's no way that they would not have taken. Like,
Hear me now. Hear me now. Because just because they didn't put money in someone's bank account doesn't mean that Wells Fargo wouldn't report and say, "Oh, hey, our friend wanted us to say."
That's exactly what happened.
That could have happened. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
You know what you do too?
I'm not saying they're
You play
innocent.
devil's advocate and you go down these freaking
Crazy rabbit holes.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they're innocent.
I can't wait
at
to
all.
find out how they became innocent. Like,
I should be a
what did you
fucking
do?
attorney.
What did you not do? Tell me what you didn't do, bro. Tell me what you didn't do, Mr. Chrisley.
Yeah.
How did you not? What did you not do?
Yeah, exactly. I want to know what he didn't
because
do.
the indictment.
What did he
and your
didn't
bank
do?
statements.
He didn't know. He didn't know.
That's what it probably was. He didn't know. That's exactly.
He didn't know that the documents that he was submitting for the $30 million
because
were fraudulent. Because
his tax guy made them for him.
His tax guy told them that
because he's doing time too. I read that he's doing time too. He didn't get acquitted.
Who?
The tax guy.
What do you mean?
I think his tax person got in trouble.
No.
I swear I saw that somebody else got in trouble too. There was not just him.
way. They got acquitted, but the tax guy.
I feel like I read that, but don't get me mistaken.
I need you to fact check that.
I swear I heard something. It might have been another case I was looking at, but I'm pretty sure.
I need a fact check.
I swear there's a tax person involved in this, but I might be wrong.
I just wanted.
There was.
Let me put.
There's a tax guy involved.
Did he get acquitted?
Did he get acquitted?
The accountant, Peter Tarantino, was also convicted in connection with the tax evasion and fraud case. He was found guilty of conspiring to defraud the IRS and willfully filing false corporate tax returns on behalf of the Chrisleys company. Tarantino was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison and began serving his sentence in 2023.
So he's
still
out.
there.
Is he still there? Is he out?
So which guy was that?
He probably got out in the freaking First Step Act already.
Which person was that?
That's the accountant. The accountant did go down too. You don't hear him talk about him.
Huh.
They're blaming him.
They're blaming the
I
accountant.
know. I'm just saying, hypothetically, who knows? But he is. Poor guy. They get acquitted, and he's just the accountant.
Rip.
I just work for them.
Accountant just got fucked.
Nope, he was released in 2024.
Okay, yeah, for the first Step Act.
Woo.
Step Act.
Woo.
Yeah.
That was going to be scary.
Yeah, I was about to say, wow. We're not even talking about him. Trying to help get his ass out. Get his ass out. I mean, like, hey.
Note to tax people.
They're like,
you're screwed.
They're like, no, they're probably, the Chrisleys are probably like, you fucked us over. You didn't put the documents right. They found us out. You're go to the can. You screwed up. We're in prison because of you. Not because we told you to do it.
We didn't know.
Yeah, not because we told you to do it, but because you fucked up the paperwork. You didn't put it in right, you know? They found us out.
Oh my God. Okay, we're getting so far off track.
That's okay.
I feel like we have to do a part 1 and part 2 because people are going to get really bored.
No. We'll do the whole thing, and then
But shouldn't we release part 1 and part 2?
Sure.
I think that would be a
maybe,
great idea.
or maybe we do part 1, part 2.
Wait for part 2.
No, maybe we do highlight reel of parts, and then that's a couple videos, and then we set it into a whole grand.
Okay.
You know, however long
nobody
this
likes
video
to watch an hour.
Yeah, no, I don't think we should have an hour-long show. I think this we're done. Part 2.
We're only at 28 minutes.
Because there's nothing left to say about these people. We don't need to have an hour video about them.
Right, but now we have to go to.
Because I skip over videos that are like.
I know exactly.
I do.
And now it's even longer because we're still talking about
Well,
shit.
whatever.
So listen.
Let's talk. Let's just start.
Listen. Let's talk about the first act. Whatever.
First Step Back. We've talked about it before, Mom.
I know, but we're going to talk about it again.
Okay, go ahead.
We're going to talk about what it entails.
Sure, go ahead.
So I'm going to go back to chat.
Well, hold on. Let's have Cam look it up so we can put it on screen.
Okay, yeah, please do. Because I don't want
Step
to put my
Act.
glasses back on and act like I can't read.
Let's put the First Step Act in relation to these people and how does it relate?
No. We're going to talk about it because he mentions it. Actually, maybe we should like go a little further. Yeah, we should go a little further in the video because he talks about stuff. Why'd you give me that look? Why'd you give me that look?
Stuff. I'm like,
Why'd you give me that look? I know you got plenty to say about it. I know.
No, I've already. No. I really don't because the first step back really does. I mean, after they let me out they let me out that last time.
Hey guys, the video's playing.
What we did not realize is that there was multiple outlets that were following us, but we had interference with the security team. And I don't know why it's that exciting to watch me buy underwear. I mean, it's just not. But we went in to grab a few things because of
Does he talk that fast or are you fast forwarding it?
And
he's got it on like 2.5 speed or something.
Okay,
cool.
And so I'm like, they're just wanting this one first.
He is very feminine.
And so I said, go live with it. I said, and that stops.
Very feminine.
And so that's what we did.
I did. Hey. Go down the front and the back.
What do you have to say to people who say you'll be part of because of your status?
I understand it. That's not something that you can look at and say, well, that had nothing to do with it. I don't know if it did or if it didn't, because I wasn't involved in the process. But what I can tell you is that I believe in our President of the United States, and I believe in his commitment. When he created the First Step Act, that was to help incarcerated individuals. It was not adhered to by the Department of Justice. And the entire time during the Biden administration, it was not adhered to. So to hear him say that it is now going to be adhered to, and Pam Bondi is going to make sure of that, literally since Pam Bondi has stepped in, now the Bureau of Prisons have been given a directive through a new director who I have such a huge amount of faith in, William Marshall, that he is going to make sure that the First Step Act is implemented, that these men and women are going to get the credit that they're supposed to be getting. They're going to get the training and the education that they're promised, and they're going to be given a right to go back to their families in a speedier way. So I do understand that.
For just
and if that's
Well,
the
he's
case,
talking about.
So wait, hold on. I'll go.
No, you go ahead.
Okay.
Go for it. Just go on in.
What? So is this turn of unfortunate, corrupt events, if it is truly corrupt, will it birth something good? In what he's
What are you
talking
talking about?
I mean,
is it actually a step towards
I mean,
the
is
first
he
act?
trying to help people with the First Step Back?
That's what
There's
he
a lot of
said.
stuff that's backed up in the federal system, like for people
Yeah.
that are getting out. Like they have a lot of like time credit and stuff that people get monthly because of the First Step Back. You know, like, and then there's supposed to be classes,
And then you get
for the
like,
Step Back, extra halfway house time for the Step Back, First Step Back.
Well, he talked about racism in it too.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he talked
I know.
about. He said that he was treated much differently than the African American.
What compound was he on?
Yeah, where was he?
Because
We'll
I
fact check.
just want to say that it depends. It's all compound per compound.
It
per
depends.
compound because it does depend. But I could tell you this: that any compound I've been to, other than Waseca, Minnesota, Black people are treated just fine because
That's because most of the security officers are Black.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're in a compound that they're mostly Caucasian.
right?
then
Which
they're
is
gonna-
Waseca. But what compound was he on?
FPC Pensacola.
Where's Pensacola?
Florida.
Florida. Yeah, exactly. Pensacola. Yeah,
They're Black.
Exactly. He might have been treated better than the Black people because of his clout, but I promise you, the Black people that are in Florida prison are treated fine. I just left the Florida prison. I just left Tallahassee, where that's where.
But maybe the
majority of
men's
them-
and the women's are different. Well, obviously the men's and the women's are different because we were just talking about on our other show how sometimes people are beaten by officers, and mostly Black guys.
are beaten by who?
The
White officers.
Yeah, they are.
It depends on what
I
compound
don't
you're
know
on.
if it's a white officer or a Black officer, but they're definitely treated different.
Because in Florida, there's like a speckle of white officers that are there.
Yeah.
Like literally.
I know, but
like
that's Florida. There's
in Florida and Texas, a sprinkle of white officers. Like in the South, there's like literally. Then you go to like the East Coast, it's the same. So it's like
I don't know. I feel like we need to get some comments, especially if there's people that have been to prison. Let's hear from you guys because that's what he's saying.
Absolutely.
And he's saying that he's going to publicly expose all this. So
go for it, do it, buddy.
Right.
That's what the Netflix
Do
show
it.
is about.
That's what
Do it, expose it. I want to see what you're exposing because maybe it is more. I just doubt it.
Here's a bigger question. If he truly did what he was convicted of,
Yeah.
and he's being pardoned, but the pardoning causes the first act, or it's called the first act, right? What is it called?
First Step Back.
It causes the First Step Act to be actually enacted,
Yeah.
and it prevents further racism inside of
Yeah,
US
that would be
prisons.
great.
Then is he righting his wrong?
I mean,
I mean,
Like he's making a like. What,
I mean, we're trying to do the same
I
thing.
mean, am I
Obviously,
righting
he's a
my
public
wrongs for
figure.
selling drugs and selling stolen cars and doing fraud? Am I being right for my wrongs by doing the show and bringing awareness to?
It's super gray, isn't it?
Yeah, did my karma is being.
I mean, okay,
blamed.
so I think it's great that he's wanting to do that. Like
Yeah.
he's literally that's his mission now,
Right.
is
Yeah.
to do that. I don't.
Yeah, because he probably got there and was like, "Damn, the living situation is horrible.
Yeah,
The feds are
horrific.
horrible."
And that's
I-
what he's saying too. He wants to expose how the conditions
It's
are,
horrible.
Yeah.
which we've already talked about how bad they are.
Over and,
And,
over.
I'm,
This
and I'm
is-
not talking about righting the wrong in his heart or
Yeah.
with God, but I'm talking about righting his wrong with the world.
Sure.
Does that justify him in the world's eyes?
I don't
If
think it's.
that's
I mean, I
I
don't
think
think-
that they're two different. That's an apple and an orange.
Even though either way, there's conflicting stuff going about with this whole case anyways.
I mean, like he's helping people.
He did it.
I
He
mean, like
did
if
it,
he's
CJ.
not, if he's not,
I can't accept
Did
it.
it?
I just want to know the truth and the whole truth.
yeah,
As your
like,
voice cracks.
right?
I'm doing
like,
it on
I
purpose.
know.
dude,
I just want to know the fucking truth.
he's like, I'm gonna. He's probably like in prison. Like, I know, guys. I know you guys are upset because I did something way worse than you guys did, and they're gonna let me out.
Exactly,
But I promise,
exactly.
I'm gonna make sure that your credit that you're supposed to be getting for your good time is gonna be credited to your thing, and I'm gonna get out there. And
I
I'm gonna
almost feel
fucking-
like unless I like dreamt it, I almost feel like at the end of this, he says something like, "I'm not gonna forget about you guys."
yeah, I'm not gonna forget about my homies behind the bars because you know,
yeah.
I'm not part of that life, but I had to go there.
When the magistrate judge ruled the evidence was not allowed in, the Obama-appointed judge said, "Nope, I don't care. We're allowing it all in."
And with an email that said, "We need to catch a big fish," and the response was, "Well, Todd Chrisley is the biggest fish in Atlanta right now."
And I think it's also important to note that the Office of Inspector General ruled in our favor in their documents that in their investigation that stated we agree that the Chrisleys were unfairly targeted. We substantiate
Due to their celebrity status.
Yes, we substantiate the Chrisleys' claims that they were unfairly targeted. So at the end of the day, I will sit and say, as his daughter, I believe in law and order. If I believe that my parents did exactly what they were accused of doing, then yes, you
have a consequence
you have
for
a
it.
consequence for it. Do I think the consequence should have been 12 years? No, I do not. That's not even a fair sentence if it was true. But I know in my heart of hearts it was not true. I caught these prosecutors in so much misconduct, speaking to the judge, having ex parte communications. And
This is in writing.
It
So like
is
you're
in
saying.
writing. Alex exposed the emails. So I think at the end of the day, if you want a conviction, then have a clean conviction.
And to go back to your question about it being a Trump administration, it was a Biden administration that the OIG issued the report under that said that we were targeted. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Have a wonderful
I
night.
don't know. He,
Now he's
So
bringing
the-
Biden into
the
it.
investigation was going
oh,
on
why?
for
What
almost
happened? What? Oh, because what now?
He just said, I think he just said that their indictment was technically under Biden.
Yeah, he did say that. Yeah, I heard that.
So now it's Trump versus Biden.
That's probably where he actually probably was like, you know what?
It's always Trump versus Biden.
I'm going to let out this white celebrity with a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm going to make Biden look so bad about it.
Yeah, for sure.
You did that so good.
Yeah, you did. You had that Trump voice really good down.
Billions and billions.
Did you?
Yeah.
Do the
Yeah,
hands?
Yeah, nobody could see it, but
The
I'm
hand
trying to like
gestures.
simultaneously switch the camera angle. But
Look, you know how Trump's like. He always goes like this.
Oh, that's funny.
all right, well, feels like the energy got out there. So
Yep.
I mean,
Well, that's
What?
that. Nobody knows the truth, and we'll find out it sooner or later. I'm
oh
sure
yeah,
it's going to
because
start feeding
they
out in the
did
end.
say that they're going to release either the,
Well, I'm
the
going to release
first
the
show or-
indictment. Let me look at your indictment. I want to read it myself.
They're gonna release their first show about it before the end of June. It said. So
Okay.
stay tuned, guys.
Stay
but Not,
tuned.
but not for their show, for ours.
yeah,
Right.
for sure.
I guess
And
if
you
it's good.
like again, we didn't mention like and subscribe in the beginning. Like
Oh my god!
like that's like literally we need to say and like after like 5 minutes in, we need to be like, if you guys are enjoying our show, please like and subscribe
True.
because
Hey,
it's like
another-
they already clicked off, went to the next show, and nobody subscribed.
I mean, we're getting constant subscribers. We just got more. We're getting them.
Like from the inside out, Tiffany, or from the inside out, Lisa.
It's from the
on
Inside
YouTube.
Out channel, is what it is. From the Inside Out channel.
That's what it's
Yeah.
called. Now,
Well, it's
No, it's
called-
always said.
no, listen to what CJ's gonna say.
Yeah, Twitter X is FTIO channel.
Right.
Okay.
YouTube is from the inside out.
Channel.
From the inside out,
I'm
from the
telling you,
inside out,
that's
Tiffany.
Oh, maybe
it's
you're right.
not.
I know I'm right.
Yeah.
I look at
Show
it
me.
all the time.
You're probably right, Mom.
Show me, please.
Really?
Please.
You want me to fact check?
Please.
Are you fact checking me?
Please.
Okay.
Show me. From the Inside Out
I
channel
will.
on YouTube.
I will, daughter.
Thank you so much, Mom.
Oh, there goes the mic.
Oh, good. Cool.
Oh, no. That's not good. No.
From the Inside Out
No.
channel.
That's not what you say.
Thank you.
No, that's not either.
I mean, you're right.
That's
but I
right.
didn't. But
That's what you
But we've been
say.
saying that's a horrible look on my face. Why do we have that? Like, what the?
It doesn't
CJ,
matter. That was from the first
What?
one.
When you paused it right there.
But anyway,
What, the channel
my
banner?
face looks horrible right there.
I
I
was
just
right.
designed that. I thought it looked great.
I'm like this.
No,
Look,
that's a cute picture. What are
I'm
you
all
talking about?
okay.
No, I thought you guys looked great. The colors look nice, and it's like on brand with.
I didn't get to look at
the
my face that
background.
well. I just saw my lips
No,
out. Like,
because he just changed that.
Anyways,
actually.
we're losing viewers by the second.
Anyway,
Right.
everybody's unsubscribing.
from the
Shut
Inside
up.
Out channel on YouTube.
All
From
right,
the
guys.
Inside Out channel.
From the
Anyway,
Inside Out
yeah.
channel, we appreciate you guys.
We love you.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, please. Yep.
From the
Peace.
Inside Out.
I mean, we're getting better and better as the episodes go. I feel. You know.
Boom.
Boom. Mic drop.